Hello, gorgeous again, and welcome back to video number 2 of the Limiting Beliefs in Relationships series. Again, if you don't know me, my name is Olga, your relationships coach and advanced fast EFT practitioner. And in this series, we'll talk about how to discover and release limiting beliefs and subconscious fears that keep even smart women stuck and out of love. Let's start with video 2. Now, in this video, I want to talk to you about a very common block that especially we as women fall into. And it has to do with I let people get away with destructive behavior in my relationships. If you ever been in a toxic relationships and relationships with somebody emotionally unavailable, you know the pain of feeling stuck and helpless and hopeless and trying to get out and do something and feeling like you absolutely can't do anything. I've been there, and I know a lot of women who work with me also been there too. Whether you are in a relationship with someone that you just no longer love, but you do not know what to do about this anymore, or you are in a relationship with someone who obviously doing something very destructive with his life or both of your relationships, and you're just not sure how to address this. Today is the day. Let's talk about this. Now, this belief is also known as a fixer-upper syndrome or the savior syndrome. Now, women who are conscious and ambitious and goal-oriented, like myself, and probably you, if you're watching this video series, feel like, you know what, I'm up for a challenge. Yeah, this guy has a problem, but I'll help him fix it. I'll help him deal with this. And of course, as a result, very often we don't take things as they are. We don't take things for granted, but we assign it a different meaning. I remember listening to one of the videos of dating coach, and he said something profound. He said, if you are with that person and things that you think that he can be or the potential that he has or things that are not happening, you start putting in the story and they're not actually happening, you are lying to yourself. You are totally fooling yourself. Stop. I've made a video lately on how to stop sugarcoating how bad things really are. And I remember being in the midst of that story, and I remember playing a happy family or pretending that things were kind of sort of okay, to where my ex-husband was having some drinking issues, and he would just disappear sometime for a day or half a day, and he would not come home until middle of the night or past of this. And just even his professional life was suffering. He was on and off employed, and he was just living this life of mediocrity. And in spite of all these things that I was, trying to change in myself and work on myself, he wasn't just interested in this kind of stuff, and he still is not. And so in my second marriage, the person that I'm with, it's a totally different scenario. Is our life perfect? No. Do we have conflicts? Of course we do. But we deal with this. We look at the things and we talk about them and we genuinely resolve them as much as we can. And the most important, we have an attitude of learning and growing together. So this is what I want for you, if this is what you want for yourself, right? Because not everybody wants a deep conscious partner, but a lot of women who comes to me and watch my videos say, Olga, I want to be with someone who is emotionally intelligent. I want to be able to have a deep, open, honest conversation about what's happening in my world and in my life, and be able to share my deepest fears, but also my deepest desires. And so if you had a pattern, or if you ever been in toxic relationship or destructive behaviors, I want you to know that it's okay to leave the past in the past. Just because you had that experience before, it doesn't mean it will repeat itself. Now it can, and I work with clients who have the same experience over and over like 17 times. And the beauty of this series and the beauty of this conversation that you and I are having right now, that you have a genuine opportunity to look within and to address your pattern, so you don't get tangled in this, essentially not a co-creative but very codependent relationship, right? When you almost enabling somebody else's negative behavior. Now, what are some of the examples of destructive behavior that you might be experienced or that are out there? There's some things that are very obvious, things like drinking or smoking or drugs, right? Things like emotional and physical abuse, overeating, like if your partner is extremely overweight and you are enabling, if you're not supporting them in that journey, that is a destructive behavior. Non-commitment, staying with somebody sort of kind of that you're together but not really, and this is something that you don't want, is destructive. TV or video games, and of course things that are more subtle, which are things like workaholics, people who just run away from the life and work 7 days a week, submerging themselves from work, only to wake up when they're 50, 60 and realize that they are single and alone, and all what they wanted is to be loved and supported and to do life with another person. And another, a smaller way of experiencing this is living a life of mediocrity. Maybe, you're with someone who is kind of dying a slow death. They always wanted to do something, but they'll find excuses not to, whether it's health or time or work or family, and they constantly kind of complaining about it, and that brings the whole family down. So start noticing this, and whether you're in the middle of it or you're healing from a past behavior, today is the day to let it go. It's okay to let it go. Now, I wanted to share an example with you of someone who's been in this relationship for years. So I'm going to call her Clara. She's a former client of mine, and she's been in a relationship with someone who was growing weed at home. And she was so embarrassed about it. She couldn't bring friends over, and she also didn't know how to get out. Now, she was tapping, she was doing her part, and she's out of this relationships. She shared with me lately that she's happier than she ever been before. The relationship with a lot of people in her life are changing. How she feels about herself is changing. And she's helping other people because they come to her and they'll talk to her about, her thing. So it is totally possible to change your life situation, what it is, or create the kind of relationship that you desire. So let's talk about how to do this. And as promised, I wanted to talk to you about the second pillar, or the second way how beliefs are formed and held. And I wish I had, but I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. But we can go ahead and kind of cut down those letters, right? Or cut down the way how the belief is supported by all of those things, which is memories, feelings, and proofs. And today we're going to talk about memories, right? So what kind of memories that you have, that you're holding on to, or that are just sitting there, that are getting ready to manifest themselves, right? That might become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And tomorrow we'll talk about how actually release those memories, or how to address the charge in these memories, because memories buried alive never die. They come back in a different pairs of shoes, usually bigger and uglier one. I'm pretty sure you heard this quote before. It's a famous one by Robert Smith, and it's an absolute truth. Changing memories, going inside and clearing those internal references, which is essentially your map, it's like a map of your reality, is the key idea, or one of the core things, core processes you can do to actually change it. All these books that you read about, change, and maybe you followed Deepak Chopra or Edgar Tolle or Louise Hay, all of these teachers, they talk about changing beliefs and changing feelings, right? So that is it. This is the how to do it, right? Changing memories is one of the deepest, most effective ways to change that. And so the first thing I wanted to do, guys, so your assignments for today is to write down 3 to 5 memories that you'd like to address and change that has to do with this destructive behavior, people. All the time when you consciously or subconsciously enabled it, when you tangle into this dance, right? When you danced with somebody and you've been, the second half of this equation, we're going to go ahead and tap on this. We're going to change that. Now, finally, what type of destructive, toxic behavior people that you had in your life? And share below, guys, because as I mentioned earlier, one of the best things you can do for yourself is to speak up your truth, to get support of a conscious woman like yourself, to help you move forward. We'll be happy to cheer you on and to support you on this journey. Now, if you enjoyed this video and if you like it, and if you're ready to get more help on this journey, I would love to help you. There's a link below for my Tap into Love program, and that tells you how I work with women in this regard and how I help them to go deeper, make changes, and manifest amazing, fulfilling, conscious relationships. And of course, if you have a friend who might benefit from this video series, please invite. The more the merrier. I would love to help her out as well. Alrighty, guys. So one more time, don't forget to answer this question. What type of destructive or toxic behavior that you let people in your life get away? Let's get it off your chest. Tomorrow we'll do some more tapping. We'll talk about changing memories. But for today, that'd be all for video 2. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in tomorrow's video.